Hello, YouTube. I'm here with the lovely and beautiful HKimmy,
Thank you.
or we could call you H. Wansik.
Yeah, Phil Strader calls me that.
All right. I want to talk today the steel frame Walther PDP. You're on Team Walther.
Yep.
So you guys, because I saw all the Walther people are getting these steel frame PDPs, and I'm like, all right, Kim's got one of these, I'm sure.
More than one.
More than one. You have more than one steel frame already?
Yes.
All right. So you're the guy I wanted to talk to about this gun because, well, I mean, I've shot the PDPs a little bit. I find them they're an agreeable gun as far as I'm concerned. I like them.
Mm-hmm.
But you've been pining after this gun for how long?
A couple of years, at least.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years, right?
Yeah, 3 years probably.
I think you have the same opinion of the PDP as I do, where it's like, yeah, I really like the gun. You know, it's good if for training, carry, whatever people are using it, they're cool. But for competitive shooting, my preference would be the same gun. Just hey, make the frame out of steel. Maybe modify the trigger a little bit just to get it really slicked up for competition, and that would probably be better. That was my thinking with the PDP.
Yeah,
and that's about your thinking.
Exactly. That's one of the things I like the most, because PDP, there's many different lines now. Of course, it offers from like 4-inch to 5-inch, different grip size, frame length, and now they have last year it came out with a F model, which is they call it more friendly to smaller hand size.
F, I think they mean female.
I think so.
Well, I don't know. That's like not very progressive. I think it should be like B for birthing person, maybe.
It should be in the agenda.
Okay. So show us the gun. Let's see this.
Yes. So the one you're looking at through the video right now is a steel frame. Just as a reference, the one on the bottom is a polymer model, 5-inch, same thing. If you look pretty closely, the grip angle and stuff, very, very similar. So when I just picked up,
hold on, it's not precisely the same grip frame then?
The angles, width, I actually did the measurement. They're about the same.
What do you mean about you're an engineer, you're a pretty precise engineer guy. So when you say about the same,
yes.
What is that? What does about the same mean to human beings?
So like the back strap angle, the front serration to the back, the width of it, they're all the same, except one difference is it's very dirty gun on the polymer gun. By the way, this shot 160,000 rounds, so it's pretty dirty. One dimension difference is near the mag release button. You can see a little bit of dipping in so that your thumb can kind of get a little more room. If you look at the magazine release button on the steel frame, there's no hump or the gouging inward. So other than that one specific area, the dimensionally, it's all the same.
I got you. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So one, I guess I'd call it a criticism. I think it was Pannone, but I saw somebody post on Instagram like, hey, that basically like, hey, the PDP, if you want it to be heavier, just add like whatever, this and that part, and then it's this many ounces. Like, don't buy the steel frame, basically. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that take. It's not just the weight of the gun, it's the balance, right?
Yes.
What do you think of the balance?
Balance, super good. I have many different other companies' steel frame guns. Some of them feel very nose heavy. But this one, super balanced. When I pick it up, it almost didn't feel like a typical steel frame weight balance, meaning the weight balance is like right in the middle of the gun. So it doesn't feel as heavy, but the weight, actual weight is heavy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes. So especially like, I mean, Shadow 2 is like a popular competition gun, and everybody kind of complain about being nose heavy. Right. You won't feel that with that steel frame. I think one of the reasons why is the difference between in terms of design with the steel frame and the polymer. You can see the slight portings. so slight cutouts. So they kind of remove the slide from the front of the gun, front of the slide. So I think that's why it makes it more like central weight balance than the nose heavy.
Okay.
Mhm.
As far as actually holding it and shooting it, aside from it being steel as opposed to plastic, I'm guessing you don't really feel a difference.
I did not. The first time I got this gun, I went out to the range with the plastic. I shot side by side. The grip angle exactly the same. The red dot or the index of the gun sits exactly the same. Sight alignment, all automatic. I shot my carry gun, which is 4-inch. I also brought out 5-inch full size and the steel frame. Shooting 3 different guns in terms of how the gun points, it didn't really change at all. And draw, of course, when I drew the gun, I can feel a little bit of weight to it. So
Yeah.
I felt like I need to bring the gun up with a little more effort. But during target transition or when I actually vision focus and shoot the targets, I didn't really notice anything, except I'm shooting faster follow-up shots.
Yeah. So I guess that's interesting. Like, so
Mhm.
is this the gun that you wanted? Because, like, I mean, you're a competitive guy or whatever,
Yeah,
what you being on Team Walther, you've been waiting for this gun. Is this what
Mhm.
you have been waiting for?
Exactly.
You think so?
Yes. One of the big reason, like Panon may say, hey, there's no need to get a steel frame. I kind of disagree with one of the biggest reason being the grip panel. If you look at the grip of the steel frame, you can see the screws over there. So
Oh,
basically, like most of those, 1911 or any other steel grip, steel frame guns usually come as a grip panel, so you can change out the panel. So this means you can really customize even more to your hand size. I already ordered from Lock Grip, 2 different shape of the grip. So one of them is just the same
wait,
standard
Locke is
size.
already supporting this?
Yeah, they already have it on their website. Right now,
Oh,
they're only selling.
Walther must have sent the guns to Locke really early, I would
Yes,
assume.
Walther's been doing that as they communicate with, parts company or accessory companies before the release, and on the release date, they're available together.
I did not know
Mhm.
that you could change the grip panels. That's interesting.
Yes, the ones I ordered is just a regular standard shape, and another one is a 1911 style, which is the back strap is a flat shape, not a hump shape.
Hmm.
Uh, Usually I like more on the humped shape, like so to say,
You like humping?
yeah, the humping life. Glock has a hump. 1911 is like one of the only shape that's completely flat.
Yeah.
PDP also has a hump. Shadow 2, they all has a hump. So I do like that, but I just out of curiosity, I just bought that flat one, just like a 1911, just to try out.
All right. Well, shit. Okay. Now I've got to go ahead and put this out there. So you know me, I was a Beretta guy for
Mhm.
quite a while. Shot the Beretta 92 Elite 2s in competition for quite a long time.
Yeah.
And I kind of I remember the talk at the time, like, hey, all they got is if they just made this with a steel frame instead of it being aluminum, that would be better. Like I would
Yeah.
like that, that kind of thing. But when the 92X, when the competition gun finally came, they changed a few little things,
Mhm.
right? And then there's extraction issues, there's bunch of durability issues with the barrels, whatever.
Mhm.
Um, are you smelling any issues like that on your steel frame PDP yet, or is it like
Mhm.
the same extractor, the same extraction set? You know what I mean? Like how much
Yes.
did they really? They can change little things, and it's hard to know if it's going to work properly. This gun.
Yes. So I'm gonna be honest. This is not the first steel frame I got from Walther, right? So there was a steel
Oh,
frame model called Q5, which was released, 4 years ago, probably now. When that came out, there was that issue of, especially that is extractor issue and the spring rate, because if you put the same spring you use on the polymer gun and put it in the, steel frame gun, it may not work properly because, the steel frame generally more friction and whatnot. So before PDP steel frame was coming out, I did have a phone call with Walther and talking about previous issues, and we before the release, They were like, yeah, we did our study from the Q5 steel frame, and we put all the modification, all the necessary changes. So when I first got it, I only shot about 2,000 rounds right now, but no malfunctions. So so far it's really promising.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I personally took the gun apart and really checked like the spring stuff in there, and yeah, it looks like they put the right amount, right exact what it needs for the steel frame specifically.
Okay. And one other question I have, can we see that trigger again?
Yes.
So that's the competition trigger from Walther that also
Yeah.
goes to the polymer PDPs?
Yes. This is called performance trigger.
Does
PDP
it come with
polymer.
that in it, or did you put that in?
This is factory completely.
And does it feel the same as like once you've installed that trigger on the
Yeah.
PDPs, it's one of those where it's like, okay, this thing's pretty light. You know what I mean? Like this is, I wouldn't carry that thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
is it like that?
The thing is, out of the box, I measured with the trigger measure right away. It measures at 4.5 to right under 5 pounds. So in terms of the weight of itself, is not dangerous at all.
How
It's
much
just
travel?
very little trouble.
Show
So
me.
one of the thing why people say, oh, hey, this way. So pre-travel is about starting now. Boop. That's it. Boop. That's
Press
all
through.
it's got. Yeah, that's all it's got.
That's it.
And click is
All right. Now, what about the reset?
now starting reset.
Yeah,
Very little.
I mean, for a factory gun, that's not a lot. I think people would, obviously, they're going to go further because that's what people do. But okay, interesting.
Generally saying, I try to split as fast as possible, shooting doubles drill. And with the factory setup, the polymer one with the curved trigger, a little more reset, right? A little more pre-travel. So with this gun, I was shooting at fast consistently about 16 splits to 17 splits in doubles. But the fast one, the steel frame one, was consistently about 14. Easy to pull the trigger fast.
All right. So there's a segment of people out there, there's a lot of people like they just shoot Glocks because they're comfortable with that.
Yes.
Or maybe something else. Like the most common alternative I see is the PDP. Like Joel's a good example. Like Joel just shoots the PDPs better. They just better than he shoots the Glocks. Like unequivocally, you don't need to measure it very fine. You know what I mean? Just watching him and the demeanor, it's like he shoots that. Like, he's very friendly with the PDP. Is what I'm saying. So there's a lot of people that, I know quite a few competitive shooters, and they're like, man, this gun just fits me. I just like it. They're kind of like you, like, yeah, I like the PDP, but like for competition, maybe I should get the steel frame. So for the guys like the Joels,
yes,
I'm assuming you'd say, hey, look at this, or maybe get one of these, because if you're already shooting the PDP and you're shooting it competitively, this is something you should look at.
Yes, I mean, when Mustang first came out, everybody thought it was the fastest car in the 80s, F70s, 60s. But now in 2023, Mustang is not slow, but it's not the fastest car.
Did people think it was the fastest car? I don't know.
I don't know, but you get the point.
Sure.
Yes. But one thing I'm really trying to pioneer now with the steel frame, like I said, it's more customizable. So out of the box, the plastic PDP is 27 ounce, but the steel is 40 ounce. Some people may say, oh, that's crazy. That's too heavy. But in competition world, CZ Shadow 2, for example, is commonly known like almost 50 ounce gun. Now, this gun.
Oh, yeah. Once people get the grips on it and everything.
Yes.
I think one of mine is north of 50.
Yes, definitely you can make it that way with the Shadow 2. But this gun, out of the box, Shadow 2 is supposed to be 46 ounce, I think. But this is out of the box 40 ounce, which is a little lighter. But the thing is, if you look at the grip, it's different. It's not a side panel that you change out. It's a whole back strap included and the side included. So what this means is you can change the back strap angle, but also material. So if you put a brass grip on top, it's going to be heavier than just putting the side panel brass grip, if that makes sense. So it's going to be a lot heavier possible.
What about that magwell?
Magwell is about the same as the polymer plastic. So about the same angle. You can see there's a little bit of back lip.
Yeah.
I can say one thing about the Magwell. The size, dimensionally, everything is the same. But when you actually try to speed reload, polymer, if you kind of mess up the angle, it'll scrape the polymer and go into the insertion, no problem. But any steel gun, it's gonna hang up if you angle it a little wrong. So that is something that you might want to kind of pay attention to in reload, make it more
It's
precise
definitely
insertion.
harder to reload that.
Yeah.
All right. Where's the stick? Here's the sticking point. What's the price of this hoe?
The retail is 1880 or 1899, something like that.
That's stiff, bro. That's
Yes,
a lot of cheddar.
it's very close to Shadow 2 Optic Ready model, which is $1,800 Shadow
Yeah.
2. So you can say, hey, it's about the Optic Ready steel frame.
Does that
gun.
one come optic ready?
It is
Okay.
definitely Optic Ready. Yes.
No, I mean it's not crazy money for like a really serious competitive shooter. I mean, if you're shooting, I mean, if you're not doing competitive shooting, like I don't know who would be getting after that gun. There's always people buy everything. What am I talking
Yeah.
about?
Just like normal phenomena, when this gun comes out, it's gonna be selling at retail because you can't really get it right away because not many out there. But in a year or two, it's gonna go down as low as other optic ready steel guns out there.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's interesting, man. I appreciate and I'm sure the audience appreciates just the first impressions. I know you'll give me the skinny. I hate being disappointed. You know what I mean? The first time I held the 92X, I was like, what the fuck did they do like to this thing? Like, why is it this top heavy dumb shit with a short grip or whatever? I think, okay. So initial signs are promising. That's cool.
Oh yeah.
All right. Is there anything else you want to add in about the gun? What are your immediate plans for this thing? Are you shooting this gun next season?
Absolutely. I'm going to be running this, of course, not just next season, many more years. But one thing is, I think what separates this gun to other gun, other than the grip panel thing, is the reliability. If you are into competition and you buy a competition gun, you change a lot of parts to either make it reliable or fit better or run better. But Walther, you don't really have to worry about that. You just buy it, bring it out of the box, put an optic gun, and shoot it.
What reliability issues have you seen on the polymer PDPs?
I shot 160,000 rounds. I shot only one time I had an issue when I decided to not clean it at all and basically never clean it until it breaks something or stops malfunction. Nothing really broke nothing ever broke, but at 50,000 rounds of shooting without cleaning it, the striker firing pin block, the firing pin block was so gunked up by the residue, the block wasn't going up and down. It would stick up high.
Yeah.
So I had to put a loop, and then eventually it kept getting dirty. So I had to clean it out after 50,000 rounds.
The only other issue I heard of, I think a couple people broke the physical strikers.
Yes.
I've heard of that.
That's the only case when they put a performance trigger when it first came out.
Yeah.
Originally for performance trigger, I think it was designed as the same system as a Q5 steel frame. So the sear system was a little bit different, a little like one extra notch in there, which like firing pin block, activating, whatever. So it wasn't fitting right. That was one case. So basically, there was an easy fix. They changed out the whole firing pin shape. So if you have an older design, you may have a red color or black color, but the newer ones have a greener color. Green or red.
So you can tell.
Yes. So whenever there's an issue, Walther just fixes it right away.
Well, I mean, from where I sit, like as a casual user of the stuff, like I have a Q5.
Yeah.
I have the plastic Q5, and I don't like it. Like I don't, you know what I mean? I don't like the grip frame. Like it just doesn't fit me that way. I like the trigger. I kind of like for a factory like striker gun. It's like it's a pretty nice trigger. The grip just didn't work for me. It was just kind of weird, and in a way that's hard to articulate. But then the PDP, it looked similar-ish, but the frame felt way better to me.
Yeah.
And I think they are on a track of steady improvement. I think. Like I've been around in competitive shooting for a while, and I've seen, as you know, like typically when some company, like like whoever, I won't name names, but a lot of times some company is like, yeah, we're gonna get into competitive shooting, and then Walther did this, like we're getting into competitive shooting. Then they stand up a team. You were the first guy they hired, right?
Yep.
And I was thinking, and I think we talked, I'm like, yeah, usually it's like this will be like a year or 2 or 3, and then they'll change marketing directors or whatever. Then you're out on your ass, bye-bye, and they're done with it. I mean, I've actually been surprised that they've stuck with as much support as they've done and as many people as they're supporting. That's actually surprised me.
Yeah, I've been with them 7 years now.
Jesus.
That's quite a long time. But one thing I got asked a lot, hey, you were shooting Q5 still frame, and when PDP plastic comes out, why would you go to plastic? So it was the same reason as Ben. The grip. I have a marginally, like if I wear a glove, extra large is the minimum size. Sometimes 2X large is what I prefer in the winter size. So you can see my hand size is kind of bigger. And Q5 or PPQs, they were a little short for me. So there was a little always thinking like, oh, I wish it was longer. So when PDP full size came out, even if it's a plastic, it just fit my hands better. The funny thing is, when I first shot for Walther, it was just regular PPQ, and then Q5 plastic came out, and like, oh, Q5 is better. And Q5 still frame came out, and I shot it, and I'm like, oh, this one is actually better. And PDP full size came out plastic. Even though it's plastic, it fits my hands better. And now still frame comes out, it is a better model. And not every companies actually have that fancy of, oh, the new one comes out and it is better than the one before.
No,
it's not as
Call of Duty gets better every year, bro. Or whatever. Everybody knows it goes from lower left to upper right every year. That's how it works.
The Modern Warfare 1 to 3 was the same thing. No improvement.
Sequels are always better, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good chat. I thank you. Anything else you want to add, or anything about the gun? I think we covered pretty well.
Yeah, I don't think so. Just like one feedback I get from the steel frame gun, other than it shoots great, is the price point. And like I kind of mentioned, the price point should come down. If you are short in your wallet, just wait a little bit. Maybe start shooting plastic PDP, because like I said, everything is about the same except the weight. It's a good preparation if you want to eventually get them.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of bread for that gun. How much ammo do you have laid away for this year's training? How many primers you got?
20,000 right now, but of course that's gonna be first quarter of next year, so I gotta buy more.
So we're thinking you'll shoot what, 60,000 next year?
Yeah, that's been at my average, 60,000 to 70.
Well, we should revisit this conversation in a year and see how these guns are doing.
Yes, but one thing I do is I shoot one gun mainly. My practice gun is like 99% of my ammo, just one gun. And the other gun, match gun, I only shoot matches with it. So I can tell like this one single gunshot. Like I said, this plastic gun has 160,000 rounds through it. And this was now retired, but my practice gun. So I abuse one gun. So when
you retired
I come back,
that gun?
Yeah.
You got to take that optic off and slap it on something else.
Right. I got to do that. But I have too many optics.
I have a Glock with a similar round count here with me. I haven't retired it. That's an interesting idea. I've retired guns before, but that one doesn't look like I'd retire it. It looks good to me.
Exactly. The coating is like phenomenal. You can't tell if it actually shot 160.
Is it still holding group?
Now I have a new barrel. So at about 100,000 rounds, I put a new barrel. Not because the accuracy was terrible on all ammo. It was still shooting very, very well with the full metal jackets, but the coated bullets weren't holding group as before, because my loading is terrible. Everybody is saying, hey, your bullet's too much crimp, whatever, on your coated bullet. Your bullet's shrinking. So I think that's part of the reasons. But until 100,000 rounds, even with that shrunk bullet, it was shooting very good group.
Yeah, my reloading is shit as
Yeah.
well, and my PDP's group with my reloads.
Yeah.
And I'm shooting coded, but like I don't make nice reloads, but my PDP groups with them. I've got other guns that don't group with them. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. But
Like my
100,000 rounds
CZs
is
don't
good.
group with my reloads.
Yeah.
Like they just don't. They group with everything else. Okay. Well, thanks for coming on, man. Audience people, if you have questions for Kim or stuff we could have him back on for, put them down below. Maybe we'll have Mr. Kim back on the channel.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Kim.
Thank you.